Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of So, You're Intimidated by Dark Souls. It's time for more adventures with Super Lady. I did try recording something just now, but then the game went a bit loopy, crashed, and yeah, I've come back at Firelink Shrine. So what I did was make my way from the Undead Bird back to Firelink Shrine. And the reason why is because I thought, I'm going to show you guys something that you might find useful. There's some items down in the New Londo ruins, which is an area you would go to much later in the game usually. And they are very useful items. There is a certain amount of risk to going down there, but as long as you don't venture too far and know what you're getting in for, you should be okay. However, before I go, I am going to level up because I know roughly what I need to do here. So I need to get my faith up to 14 and my strength might be okay at 10. We'll soon find out. I'm trying to remember what the stats on this weapon is, but it's an awesome weapon to get at this stage in the game. Absolutely awesome. And I think the stats you need on it are 10 strength, 10 dexterity, 14 faith. But we will soon find out. So what you need to do is go down the stairs that I said you should never go down in the last episode and venture on forth down here. Now, while I'm moving down, there's a couple of things I need to say about the last episode that I forgot to mention. First of all, a correction. It was pointed out to me that souls you gain as you level up do not decrease. And after some testing, yes, that is absolutely true. I must have just been imagining it this whole time. So that is not true. Stat scaling on weapons is a thing that I didn't mention last time. I should be safe here. Scary place. Yeah, so if I look at the rapier, there's an area called Param bonus down the bottom there that has a D and C next to it. Those stats are strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. And most of the weapons in the game have grades attached to each of them, and depending on how good the grade is, A and S being the top and obviously like D and E being the bottom, your stat, or that particular stat, will help to scale the damage and effectiveness of your weapon. Some weapons have no stat scaling whatsoever and are just always a base damage, and there is one weapon in particular that I might get to during this video that is excellent at the start of the game, but later on in the game when your stats are going up, you're better off getting proper stat scaling weapons. Yeah, and that's what I had to catch you up on. So now we are down here at the bottom of the elevator. We're going to walk over here. The reason we're down here is because I want to show you some items that you can get. There was an item on this corpse. I picked it up before the whole thing went a bit loopy earlier. Hopefully that won't happen again. Now, these guys won't hurt you. They're all a little preoccupied being insane. But the first thing you want to do is head over here to the left through this door, and you want to just pop into here, grab that, and that's the S-stock. The S-stock is like an awesome rapier. I'm going to get rid of that short bow for now. Yeah, so I actually have the parameters required to wield this. It's about the same strength well, it is the same strength scaling as the rapier is, but it does 75 damage. It's got an awesome moveset as well. I don't think I explained movesets previously. I just want to compare this to the rapier quickly. So yeah, like slightly more damage, not much. Yeah, movesets are like... Oh, that's... Did I not? There we go. Yeah, so movesets, every weapon has its own moveset, so the same buttons being used for light and strong attack and like a roll attack, or coming out of there, yeah. Roll attack is one of... get the roll attack. There we go, so that will be a roll attack with the S-stock. All of these weapons have slightly different variations. And finding a moveset that you're comfortable with is often more important than whether the weapon is horrendously powerful or not. Now this weapon, like the rapier, I'm going to grab that transient curse. You don't need that until way later in the game, but it's nice to have them in your inventory. Yeah, this weapon, like the rapier, instead of having a kick, has this little sort of, yeah, flirtation with a sword. And flirt and step back. And flirt and step back. I honestly prefer the kick. So the S-stock is not a weapon that I tend to use, but the rest of the moveset is actually quite cool. We're next going to move over here. There's the door we just came out of. We're going to go over here, turn down to the left. You don't want to go too far down this staircase, but you want to get down to, because there's a drop, but you do want to get to here. And it's not really that well known. Most people think that Andre in the Undead Parish is the first what are they called? Smith is the first smith that you'll come across. These are guys that upgrade your weapons and whatnot. But actually, you can come down and see this guy as proven. And you just need to talk to him a couple of times, and he will offer to help you out. So now when you get Titanite shards and souls, you can start upgrading your weapons, which is really useful. Because you can just make yourself super powerful. This is obviously a useful thing. You want to make sure you keep your stuff repaired, otherwise it'll go breakies. You don't want to go breakies. It doesn't cost that much soul to keep things repaired. You can reinforce armor as well as weapons. And later on you can ascend your weapons, which means making them elemental, which adds a hell of a lot of elemental damage to them. Right now I have the ability to do that with... or temporarily at least, I can put a 60-second buff on, because you remember I got the gold pine resin, which I will show you here. Gold pine resin, that adds lightning to whatever's in your right hand. And, you know, there's only 3 uses of that, so you want to use it usually for bosses. But it's really good to use. Adding lightning damage is great. So, we're now going to go into this door, which is to the... As you come out of the door we came out of, you turn right and it's the next door over. And if you've got the master key, there we go. Remember that you can only do this if you have the master key. We're now in the Valley of Drakes, which is as scary as it sounds. You don't want to venture too far off the beaten path here. So come down here, go across the bridge. There's some really scary dudes around there, so don't go to the right. Go to the left here. Keep going left. Keep going left. Over the scary bridge. There is nothing that attacks you here, but there is a very... oh, look at that dude over there. That's, yeah, what's that in the distance there? That looks a bit big and ugly. And it is, because it's an undead dragon. And it is not very appreciative of you being here. Hello, undead dragon man. What's going on? He will wake up if you start picking up his items. There you go. We want to quickly grab that. Oh, I just about got it. And I'm still alive, amazingly. I'm going to see if I can run in this direction. Normally I don't survive that. But yeah, you want to grab those 2 items as quickly as possible. I'm going to Estus really quick. He's now up on the thing there. If you die doing that, obviously, don't worry about it. As long as you got the items, they are still with you when you resurrect. But that's why I leveled up before coming down here. And now, what you have is... Hopefully I can equip it. You have a Stora's Straight Sword. Yeah, it needs 10 strength, 10 dex, and 14 faith. And it has C scaling on strength, dexterity, and faith. This does 80 physical and 80 magical. So 160 damage a hit. And also is holy. So this is a sword that will mess things up. It is an excellent weapon to have at this stage in the game. And once you get it up to +3, +4, +5 in terms of reinforcement, it becomes more powerful than the cheaty sword that I'm going to show you a bit later. So I'm actually going to equip that because I really like a Stora's sword. And there's also a much better shield. So the target shield is good-ish, for parrying at least. But what is better than that is the Dragon Crest shield, which has 100% physical damage reduction. So that will always take the entirety of the hit, unless the hit obviously is enough to stagger you and then it does health damage. It also has 55 stability, which is pretty good. That means that it tries to reduce as much stamina being removed per hit as possible. and scales to strength as well, so it'll get better as I get stronger. It is a very good shield, especially at this stage in the game. So I'm pretty well kitted out now. Now, how fast is my roll? Oh no, not the frame rate thing again. This is what happened last time. What is going on? Camera doesn't mess it up, but moving does. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm going to try and fix this, and then we'll come back. Okay, we're back. Hopefully that fixed it. I just turned my recorder on and off, and it seems to have worked. Hopefully. We'll soon find out, I guess. Now, this bit, you want to be running down here. This guy is going to try and lightning us. Oh, I didn't get past it. This is a really, really sketchy direction to go in. This run is by no means a guarantee. Most people will mess it up. I virtually never succeed. It is a once every now and again kind of reliable thing. Try and roll past it. Grab that. Yes, 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 that's lovely. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Roll. Jump. Roll. I got stuck on someone. Roll. Stamina, stamina, stamina. Ladder. Get up the ladder. We don't want to get hit. Oh, I think I made it. If you can make that, it is incredible. There we go. Okay, now, up here, there is a ring. The red tearstone ring. Now this is a good complement to the ring that I got off of the knight. So, yeah, the blue tearstone ring, which boosts defense while HP is low. And what I'm going to put on here is the red tearstone ring, which boosts attack while HP is low. So now when my HP gets to a certain point, I will have a defense buff and an attack buff, and that is useful. And now rather than go back through all of those guys, I'm going to homeward bone. I don't think I rested at the Firelink Shrine. Well, either way, I'm not going back through those guys. Yes, return. So this returns you to the last one you rested at. Oh, I guess I did rest. Oh yeah, I leveled up, didn't I? That's a point. Oh, and frames again. Wonderful. God damn it. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. Something's up. Something is up. It is not happy. Error with frame rate detected. Yeah. Okay. Let's try this again. Super Lady. Anyway, we've got an awesome sword, we've got an awesome shield, and we've got an awesome ring. So we are set. We are set for cool things. What else can we do? Oh, are you really going to get all frame rate on me again? I want to go and do something risky again, but I'm not going to be happy if the frame rate... This is not the place I want the frame rate to mess up. I might actually go and hit a level up just in case I die doing this. Don't want to lose all those souls. This, again, everything I've done so far in this video is something you can do as soon as you get here, if you want to take the risk. I normally do. I'm actually going to bang... What am I going to bang up? I think endurance is probably a good idea. Okay. Now we're going to go to the scary graveyard that I pointed out in the previous video. Now, the scary graveyard is a place you don't want to be if you don't have the equipment for it. Now, I technically do have the equipment for it now, but I would argue that it's still really tough. I haven't upgraded this weapon at all, so it won't, as much as it is good against these enemies, it still won't do that much damage. So what I'm about to do is something I suggest you only do if you watch this video several times, or other people's videos doing it, and copy it precisely. Expect to die a few times. I may even die here. So you want to run past these skeletons before they form. We're going to run over here. I'm going to grab this item. Come on. Yes, that's a winged spear. We're going to run down here. You want to try and sprint between them if you can, but remember to get your endurance back up. There's this Zweihander. Okay, and then we're going to run through here. What we're doing now is making a run for the bonfire. There is something else down there, but it's not really what we came for. I came down for the winged spear and the Zweihander. Let's get back to that bonfire. Hopefully they haven't caught up with me yet, so I should be able to reset them. There we go. And that is a graveyard run at the beginning of the game. Don't worry about attacking people. Don't worry about defending against people. Just run, dodge, and grab weapons as fast as possible. Mash the buttons. So what we got there was the Zweihander, which does 130 base damage, which is cool. And that thing, when it gets upgraded later in the game, is a monster. An absolute monster. I don't have enough strength to wield it at the moment, even with two hands, because if you've got 16 strength, then you can two-hand it, which gives you a 50% bonus in that stat, and you'd be able to wield it with two hands. And it is enormous. I mean, that's how big it is. Right? That's pretty good. And it kind of swings like that. I'm useless with it right now, obviously, because I don't have the strength to use it properly. But yeah, at 16 strength you can use this two-handed, and at 24 strength you can use it one-handed. And a lot of people swear by this sword, and there's a good reason why. It is a monster. But yeah, when you get it upgraded later in the game, absolute monster. We also picked up the winged spear, which I'll find down here. Spears are pretty cool. This one again requires 13 strength, which I only have 10 of, I think, at the moment. But yeah, spears are pretty cool. Spears allow you to... Well, this one is a sweepy spear, apparently. That's probably just because I'm terrible at it. But the thing with spears is that you can use them with the shield up, which is cool. Obviously, I don't have the strength to wield this right now. I don't think I have a normal spear either yet, so I can't really demonstrate it. But spears are good for like mid-range combat rather than getting up close and personal. I'm going to stick with my Astora's straight sword, because that's straight up just the best flipping weapon you can have at this stage in the game. And it's good because you've got slash attack on the light attack, which is pretty speedy. And the strong attack is a big old long-range stab, followed up by a swipe if you want to. And that's really cool, because that closes a lot of range. You've also got the jump attack still, which is great. I believe it has a kick. Yep, there's a kick. So I definitely like that. That's your roll. Backstep. You can backstep and counter. So yeah, Astora's straight sword, pretty good. And now that we've got all of that, I think we can head back up to the Berg. Oh, didn't get a riposte on that guy. Must have been a bit too far away. Oh, he duped me with his strong attack. Now if I use my strong attack, I should be able to kill these guys in one hit. In fact, one hit from the standard attack does it as well, so that's cool. Alright, let's go deal with this guy. Oh, maybe you want to go first. Stab. Run past. Stab. Oh, slightly out of range. Stab. What about you? You want some? Come on downstairs, Sonny Jim. Stab. Oh, that guy had an item but fell off the thing. Never mind. Back up here we go. The reason I always kill this rat, by the way, it will ignore you if you just run past it, but rats tend to carry humanity, and I like to always have humanity lying around. They don't always drop it, obviously, but they are one of the enemies in the game that will drop it more reliably than others. Stab. Ooh. Oh, where was my backstab? Come on. That's upsetting. I wanted to backstab. Come on, Sonny Jim. Oh, you're going to be a bomb thrower, are you? Ooh, what's up with my roll? Stab. Ouch. Didn't need that. Did not need that in my life. Rolling back through this berg with this sword. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Oh, I tell you, this sword, it is a monster. At this stage in the game, just, yeah. Ridiculous. Kick you. Kick you. Just easy to dispense the justice with this thing. Now, how am I going to rest? I've got 9 Estus, so probably not. Alright. Back through the berg. I will go the usual way rather than risking running off onto the Black Knight entrance. Deal with these guys. Oh, he caught me. Was not expecting that. Let's give you all a stab. There we go. Down an Estus quick. Ah! Thought I was safe there. What's up, man? Not happy that you hit me. Woo! Stab. Yeah, so you see, like, it was barely even a risk getting this sword. And it's so worth it. Just cranking the souls down. Yeah, so what I will do now is, because we're just moving through this part of the berg again, I'll quickly speed this up. Video editing, go! Now, I'm trying to remember if that guy's been triggered yet. It doesn't look like he has. Okay, so there is a guy up there who's ready to throw a barrel down at you. And there is, well, multiple ways to trigger him. I'm going to try and do it cheeky with a throwing knife. But if you can hit him with something, be it an arrow, or I don't think I've bought a bow yet, have I? No, I just got a crossbow. You can't target him with a crossbow from this range. You might be able to get him with a knife, but it requires some serious luck. Way too far over. Oh, that's not going to work. Alright, maybe it's time to go and buy the bow. So we're going to head back to the merchant. There is a way to get through this guy without taking damage, but it is really finicky. So it's one of those traps that's kind of, unless you're experienced at it, it's completely unavoidable. And you will always take a bit of damage, and then he runs straight down and tries to take you on, and it's more messy than you need to be putting up with. So instead, we're going to run back here. Roll down to the merchant. Don't forget this guy. Oh, that was close.
Ow. Still think never had.
And he is going to give us a short bow. Now, if you don't want to go for the Dragon Crest shield while we're here, he does have a thing called the Heater Shield, which is pretty awesome. That also has 100% damage reduction and 55 stability. It has 70 fire defense. The Dragon Shield has 85, I think. So, still not bad. Scales with strength, just like the Dragon Shield. It's basically the same thing, really. Just slightly less fire defense. So, that's always worth thinking about. If you don't want to take that risk, that guy is there. And that is a shield that, if you level it up throughout the game, is pretty awesome. I didn't buy any arrows. That just occurred to me. Back to the merchant we go. Do. Always remember to buy arrows when you buy a bow. Dark Souls 101. Oh, man.
Ow. Ow.
Yes, I have need of your services. Okay, arrows. We want... cheap arrows will do. The cheap arrows are good just for triggering enemies, like calling them out. I like to just go straight ahead and buy like 100. Mainly because we'll need them for a little bit later on. But we also want large arrows later for damage. But don't know if it's worth doing that just yet. Maybe it is though. I have kind of got everything else already. So I will just buy 32 of those.
Thank you, Kai.
The large arrows aren't necessary. I don't really use the bow for doing actual damage. Normally I just use it to taunt people. But given the thing I'm going to show you guys at some point, either in this video or the next, you'll come to realise that having large arrows is pretty useful if you want to be a bit of a cheaty rascal in this game. So, now we've got our bow and arrows. Going to head out onto this balcony, stand by the chest here. You can see him up there being a little bit cheeky in the distance. We're going to, first of all, get an Estus Flask selected on there. Right, equip the short bow. Make sure we've got some arrows. Switch to the short bow. Hold in the right bumper to pull the arrow. Tap the left bumper to go into aim mode. And then we just have to point and release. Now this is not always accurate. In fact, it tends to not be very accurate at all. That was more accurate than I was giving it credit for. Slightly left. There we go. And now he rolls that down. And he'll come running down now as well. So we can switch back to our sword and get on with business. There we go. Ordinarily you'd get to about here. Maybe here. And he would roll that thing down at you. You'd have a good chance of getting knocked through that side. Which there's nothing down there of use. Or you'd just fall back down the stairs take a lot of damage, and he'd follow down and try and stab you. There is a way, if you fancy trying it, to come up to this point in the stairs. He won't have thrown it yet, and then you can sprint, and if you can get it, run up the right hand side and jump past it. But it is difficult to pull off. Now, if you've got the master key, you can go through this door. It's a shortcut down to Darkroot Forest, and there is a guy down at the bottom called Havel, who is someone you don't want to touch at this stage in the game. So yeah, completely ignoring that, we go upstairs. Now this part's important. You ignore this floor, but on the next floor, you're going to hit that barrel, and then kill this thing quick as possible, because it will disappear if you let it live too long. And that gives you 2 Twinkling Titanite and 2 Titanite chunks. Twinkling Titanite is what we're going to use to upgrade this weapon. It is used to upgrade weapons that are kind of special weapons, not standards. So weapons that would not normally be upgradable. Those particular weapons can only go up to +5, whereas a normal weapon can go up to +15 and then get ascended. But yeah, if you want to use like I do this sword for a while, Twinkling Titanite is necessary, and that's the only way to get them is by finding and killing those lizards. And they're always in the same place, and if you miss it, when you die and come back, it'll still be there. And I've got it attached to my back at the moment, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that is useful. Now, fog wall. That means we've got a boss. Now, going through this fog wall, this isn't a boss that attacks straight away. You want to go straight up this ladder, because there are 2 guys up here who will hit you with arrows. Have your shield ready at the top. Oh, he got me good. And again, I wasn't expecting that. I got him back though. Right, quick Estus. And there we go. Okay. Now then, what do we do here? Got pine resin there. But you can't enchant special swords, is my concern here. So, if I were to try and apply lightning damage right now, it doesn't let me. Because this sword's already too powerful. But it is not as powerful as a lightning sword will be if I just use a standard sword. So I'm actually going to take this sword off for now and replace it with maybe the S-stock? I think the S-stock would probably work. Let's just double check. Yes, the S-stock can be lightninged. So the S-stock is a fairly powerful weapon anyway, and yeah, it has a swing, which is what I'll be using against this thing. And I think it can be two-handed, and yeah, it's strength. So you can two-hand it and get a strength bonus as well, which is what I will be doing. At least for the moment. When I get back, well, the strategy for this is summon the guy down, run back over to the ladder, climb up, he will follow you, then before he jumps up with you, dive down on him, do one of those plunging attacks two-handed, so you do extra damage. Then you just need to try and stick near his legs, roll around his attacks, and hit him when you get a chance. I'm gonna get this up and running. Alright, let's do this. Come on, Mr. Demon! Run, 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 run. It's been a while since I've failed at this guy, but you never know. There we go, that's a third of his life gone already. Yeah, keep your guard up with this guy, because he does quite a bit of damage to you otherwise. I just took quite a bit there. Heal up. And there he goes. Just remember to keep your shield up in that fight. Strafe around him as much as you can. Try and keep to the back of him and keep poking at him. If you've got the lightning on your weapon, then it shouldn't pose too much of a problem. And now that he's over and done with, I will switch back to Astora's. I would have probably been able to do similar amounts of, well, I mean, not similar amounts of damage. I would have done less damage with Astora's, but I certainly did enough there to take him down. So, what we're going to do now is just get that item there. Mr. Taurus Demon. Now this is a scary place. Do not turn left just yet. I want you to know what's up here. So, that's a locked door that actually leads down to the lower undead burg. We'll get the key to that later. First of all, you want to go and talk to this guy.
Hello. You don't look hollow. I am now that
I'll skip through all this. Pretty much talk to him once. Talk to him again. Say yes. Say yes. You can read this when you get to it yourself. He gives you the stuff you need to play co-op. He's quite a fan of cooperation. Jolly cooperation. So yeah, you've now got a soapstone so you can summon people in to help you if you want. I won't be doing that because I'm hollowed out. Don't have access to PvP. You need to be human for that. Right, this bridge. Everyone's made this mistake at one point or another without any warning. You run out on it, you get incinerated. What you want to do is run out, turn around, run back. And then prepare for this. Oh, still got hit. Run back further than that. Okay, you remember that dragon from when I got into the undead burg? Well, there he is. Now, you want to run as quickly as possible. This is a sprint. Most definitely a sprint. And run down to the side. I don't think I triggered his fire attack there, which is cool. Right, now the important thing. You came down that staircase. You don't want to go out that door just yet. You want to go through this door and down the stairs. And being very careful, you want to kick that ladder. And then boom, we are back in the Undead Burg start. It's pretty awesome, right? Back to where we started. Now, I'm trying to think whether we should just leave it there for the day, or whether I should show you how to get the Drake Sword. I think I will show you how to get the Drake Sword. This is the very cheaty sword. There are two ways to do this. Firstly, you can lightning up a weapon, summon a dragon down, well not summon, but try and taunt him down onto the bridge, run past him as quickly as possible, and chop off his tail in the process, and then run to the gate behind him so he can't hit you. The idea is you have to hit his tail. That has to happen. There's several bosses in this game where if you chop off their tail, they will give you a bonus item. This is no exception. The Drake actually has one of the better bonus items in the game. Or at least for the start of the game. This guy's being really awkward. Come on. I'm waiting for you. Here he comes. There you go. Kick. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright. Quick swig of water there. Right, now that you've dealt with that, run back over here. I like to stand about here, sort of halfway in the middle of the second archway. And assuming we don't get any frame rate problems, you want to switch to your large arrows. I've got 32. The last time I did this, it required 19. However, I have slightly more decks this time. Oh, the game's being a bit freaky. So Seem to be having another frame rate issue. I'm just going to sit here and hope that that sorts itself out. Possible edit coming up. Okay, had to edit that, not happy about that. But anyway, we're back. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of times what this looks like. So you want to aim roughly as far over on its left-hand curve. You see it sways left and right. Wait until it sways all the way left. And then try and focus your arrow so that it always hits there. And you want to fire it right as it's moving back in that direction. Then you draw again. Wait for the dragon to go back. And then when it does, you can fire again. And yeah, as I said, the last time I did this, it required 19 goes. But depending on your dexterity score, you might do more damage or less. But you really do want to make sure you use the large arrows, because they do more damage. So at this point in the video, I will edit it to speed it up. And yeah, then you'll see the Drake Sword. And then we'll call it a day. And there's the Drake Sword. That dragon is now tailless, at least until it respawns because I left the area or camped at a bonfire. So, the Drake Sword. First of all, it does have requirements. I don't have them right now. It requires 16 strength and 10 dex. If you're going for a strength build, then this will obviously work for you pretty quickly. It doesn't scale anywhere, is the issue. So yeah, keep that in mind. It will always be a base 200 damage. Now, were I to equip this, I couldn't even use it two-handed properly, because it doesn't scale with strength. So you do need that 16 strength, absolutely. But as you can see, 200 damage versus the 160 that Astora's does. Yeah, you could argue that at this point in the game, it is slightly better than Astora's straight sword. But I will be leveling Astora's straight sword up reasonably soon, which will make it pretty equal. You remember I had 2 twinkling titanite shards from that thing, from that crystal lizard? And that'll get that up to +2. So it would be pretty comparable at that point. And honestly, I prefer Astora's straight sword. But for those of you who didn't want to go for the sword because they're scared of the dragon, the Drake Sword is an excellent way to burn through the game. And honestly, I've got up until I have rang both of the Bells of Awakening and only decided that it's time to change swords after the Drake Sword at that point in the game. So that's about a third of the way through the game the Drake Sword will get you before it starts feeling a little bit weaker than you need. So yeah, it's always worth considering. 16 strength required, but definitely a monster. And it says in the description there at the bottom, the sword is imbued with a mystical power to be released when held with both hands. When you hold it with 2 hands and hit the heavy attack button, it lets out this incredibly powerful shockwave that flies in a straight line and annihilates anything in front of you pretty much. But that does cost about 20% or so of the sword's resilience. So yeah, you'll have to repair it pretty often if you're doing that attack quite a lot. So yeah, that's the Drake Sword. I'm going to go with Astora's sword though, obviously. And then we run back in here. There are a couple of things you can do at this point, one of which is kill the dragon. You can't, despite what you may be thinking, hang over on there and shoot him in the head like I was then. A, that would take way too long. and B, they fixed it. When the game first came out, you could do that, but now it starts regenerating health after a while. There is, however, another cheesy way to kill it that I've always done. I've never been able to do any other way, which I may do on the next video. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you can run through that door over there, where there are 3 rats, and then you get to the point that you would be after the Drake. So 3 rats or a dragon. 3 rats, dragon. Those are the choices for the next video. I'm probably going to go with the dragon. Yeah, so we'll come back to that next video. In the meantime, I will roll back down this ladder. And call that part 2 of Dark Souls. Intimidation thing. See you next time.